Hi, everyone. We're live. I am Lynn Maley, and I inspire my clients to discover their personal style, sparking happiness and confidence, one article of clothing at a time. And tonight, I'm just so excited because I have Evelyn Henson here that I'm interviewing. She was kind enough to accept my offer to be interviewed and share her artwork with us tonight. So welcome, Evelyn.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. I mean, so in the past, I've interviewed people of my friends and friends of friends, but like when I started my pretend interview series, I thought to myself, like, who would I want to interview that I don't know in person, but I'm a huge fan of? And you were the first person who popped in my head. And then I waited a couple weeks to do the interviews. And then I reached out and she was kind enough to say yes. And I was like, oh. So you're like, almost like you're like a little celebrity to me because I just love you so much. So
I'm so honored you feel that way.
And I'm like, everyone needs to check out your website and see what you do. But I have pulled some stuff aside to share. And if you have anything you could show us, behind you is some of your pieces.
Lots of art behind me, yes.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I want my whole house. Like it makes, I don't know, I can't explain it, but it makes me so happy. And so Stacey's joined us. And then also if you comment, but you haven't given Facebook the permission to like post your name, because it's just like a glitch between Facebook and StreamYard, the program I use. We don't know it's you, but I see that you're here and I think it's Dot. So thank you guys for joining, and more will be, because I was telling everybody they needed to. So will you tell us, like, so I'm a big fan, and I'm going to be quiet in a second, but I found Evelyn because I was just reading some blog, like fashion blog, and they had linked a piece of her artwork, and I just like clicked on it and was so curious and loved it so much that I just kind of did my research and found your site and started following you on social media and then purchasing over the years, as you know. And I've emailed her a little bit here and there. So you probably, I mean, I don't know if you knew who I was when I reached out, but I know we've sort of.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell us like what it is that you do and how did your business get started and all that.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name's Evelyn. I am an artist, and I've been working as an artist for, I think, about 8 years now. Mm-hmm. I started an Etsy shop in 2013. I had just graduated from college, mm-hmm. and I moved back in with my parents in Georgia and thought, I didn't really know what I was going to do. I don't know if anyone's ever felt that way.
Yeah, we all have.
I thought maybe I would be an art teacher. I would go to grad school for writing or communications, or I would do something in marketing, or maybe I would work in an art gallery and just like try and be surrounded by art in some way. So I just decided to open an Etsy shop to make some money with some of the art that I had while I was sort of like figuring out what my next step was going to be. Because I had started painting. I was an art major in college. I double majored in art history and communication studies. Again, just like had no idea where I was going. But I had just started painting one day out of this feeling of anxiety and wanted to just, it's always been something that's really calming and brought me a lot of joy. So I just sort of started painting. Yeah. And I had some friends they were moving out and they brought over a box of craft paints that they had used for like, like sorority crafts. So they were just like those 99-cent craft paints.
Yeah,
so
I know them.
Yeah, everybody. Good.
Just
those paints. And it was so many colors that I was like, oh, I'm going to paint my mom some flowers for Mother's Day. And I just never stopped painting after that. So when I graduated, I had like hundreds of paintings.
Oh my gosh.
Some of them were really, really, really not good. But I did have some where I thought, okay, I should sell these. I'll just put them on Etsy, and like, if anything, it'll be something for my resume to show them that I'm, capable of running my own thing, have other skills. Yeah. And a few months went by, and all of a sudden it was, it had become crazy enough become this profitable business, at least for somebody who had just graduated from college. It felt like I was doing something that I could actually do. So
that's so great.
And I still wasn't sure about it. So I stayed home with my parents in Georgia for the entire year that followed, just to make sure that it actually was a steady thing and not just a fluke. But I was pretty fortunate that Instagram had just sort of become a thing.
Yes.
This was back in 2013. And it was a lot easier to cut through the noise than it is today, perhaps. And also, since I just graduated, I had this whole network of sorority sisters that I was still pretty close with. So the word of mouth between them and Instagram really helped things take off from there. So I've just been building my art business ever since. I started with original paintings. Then I started figuring out how to make prints. And then I started doing things like mugs, journals, calendars.
This is one of her originals. I hadn't had one, so I bought one. I never know how to get it straight. And by the way, I'm looking with books online. So this is one of her originals. I just showed it. It's on my wall that I love so much. It makes me happy when I see it.
Yeah, I love painting flowers. And I used to teach a lot of classes for flowers as well.
Because I follow you, I saw when you were doing some stuff, like some in-person stuff a year or two ago.
Yeah.
But so just say again, because I did interrupt you. Like, so you went from like the paintings and then you started with the prints and what else? Because I know you have so many amazing products now.
Yeah. And then I think I did mugs and then I started doing greeting cards. And I just,
adorable. Your cards are adorable. When you first came out with the holiday ones, I ordered 2 boxes. I still have some because I was like, I rationed them out.
Thank you. I'm so glad you like them. That was once I started doing products, I feel like I started to find my footing a little bit more. Because I think one thing, if anyone's ever tried to paint, it can be really overwhelming trying to figure out what style you want to paint in and like what subject matter to paint. Because it's just, there's so many different directions to go. And I think once I started doing stationery, I started to really tap into something that was very me that came through on the stationery medium.
Love it. And then, talk about your, like when you start to come out, I like, way too much, but when you start to come out with the dog and the cat, like where you can customize it.
Oh yeah, I did. So I would
have bought that stuff and I didn't. I would stare at all the numbers, all the animals, but go ahead, tell them about it.
Yeah, I actually did that. It's, so I had this personalized pet series on my website and it started because it was right before Christmas and I wanted to give my 2 sisters a gift. And I was thinking we're like obsessed, like anyone that has a pet can relate to this. Like we're obsessed with our pets. So I'm like, well, obviously I'm going to give them something that's on theme with our dogs. And at first I thought, well, I'm going to print the dogs, like just a photo on the mug. And then I thought, wait a second, no, I can do something better. I'm going to paint the dogs and put that on a mug. And I think once I did that, I thought, oh, there are people that are just like us, that are just as crazy, that probably also want an illustration, something cuter than a photo, like an illustration of their dog or their cat on a mug. So then I just sat down and painted about, I think there were like 100-ish, maybe 100, maybe more than 100 dogs and cats. So you can choose from the list and then add it to the mug, and then we'll add the name or whatever you want to add underneath the face. Yeah.
I'm surprised. I like stalked that for so long. There was one that looks just like my cat. I was like having a hard time deciding for the dog, but there's one. And she saw my cat because she was like, before we came out, like everyone knows who watches me. I love her.
The dogs were actually a lot trickier for that. Because when I first started, I thought, oh, I'll just paint, 10 dogs and that'll cover all the bases. And then it was like 20. And then I was like, well, no dog looks like this one. And before I knew it, I had painted 100 because there are so many different types of dogs. Yes. And same thing with the cats. When I got to the cats, the spots on cats are so crazy that I started to think, oh my gosh, there's no way I can paint every single kind of cat.
So now I have like so many prints, but I showed her on the wall, but I love this one. I don't think you make this one.
Thank you. Yeah, I love that one. I get a lot of emails about that one actually.
Because of like at the ring of showing. I don't know, I love it. That's one of hers. And then she just had a sale last week. I did tell you guys about it, but I got the calendar in the mail and it's so hard to pick which one, but I chose the dog one. And I'm like, I think when the year's over, I'm going to like cut them, frame them. I don't know.
Yeah, you can. It's actually the paper that I get for that is a really heavyweight thick paper. That's
it's really nice.
Similar to an art print. So you can definitely frame them.
And all the dogs. I haven't picked my favorite month yet, but I will. So, oh my gosh, I can't. Like every time it makes me happy, you guys. Her stuff makes me so happy. Look at how adorable this is.
That's probably my favorite page because it's like my inner art history major was there.
There's I And I love, let me see. Oh God. This one I thought about getting framed for behind me. I was saying I want to get something for behind here for when I go live with my pretend interview series. Like I think I'm Oprah. Whatever. And I, of course, have to say how much I love this one, you guys. Look at this.
Yeah.
I love that you did this. Look at that. So that's just a couple. And then I got there's a new mug. Where did I put it? You know, I'm just, look at this, you guys.
Holiday cheer. So
cute. And then I was thinking you have this whole, the map series. Tell about the map series.
Yes, that was probably one of the first things I did that started to really connect with people. And I started the map series. So I have some up there behind me. So it's this series of different cities. And it started because I wanted to paint a map of Furman University, which is where I was in school at the time, and gift it to some of my friends that had just graduated. So the first one I ever did was Furman University, and it was a map of like the buildings and the places that my friends and I liked. So that was something that I gifted to them. And then it started selling so well that I thought, okay, I'm going to do some more places. And then I started doing different cities, and it has grown to, I think I have like 150 different places now.
Yeah.
So it's a fun way to mix and match different cities. But what I like about it is it's just such a fun gift to give people. It's like a housewarming.
Yeah, I know. It really is.
Places, yeah.
Because of all the places. So it's like with my cousins moving, I was like, oh, I should get them. Because you have Greenville in there, don't you?
Greenville, South Carolina, yep.
Yeah. That's where my cousins live. I tagged her earlier, but I don't think she's on. It's hard to know who's on when you go through StreamYard. So map series. And she used to paint elephants. But you're not painting elephants anymore.
Oh, no, not as much. I think I have an elephant. I might have an elephant holiday card. But you're right. I haven't painted them as much. And I should. Elephants used to be probably one of my top subjects for sure.
I know. Because when I first started following you, that was what I'd say. And I was almost going to get the elephant, but I got for the original. But I ended up with this one. But it took me like weeks to decide. I like to shop. And I like to think things through about what I want. So let's see so you have like beach towels, you have stickers, cell phone cases. Oh, and tell us about your book. You were just starting to talk about your book. I saw that being posted.
Yes. So I just illustrated my first children's book. It's called The Confetti Hearts, and it's based on a mural here that I did in Charlotte, North Carolina. Yeah. So I did that. I painted this mural. You can search for it on Instagram. It's called the hashtag Confetti Hearts Wall. And I painted that about 2 or 3 years ago, I think. And that was just sort of like a crazy turn of events where I had written a blog post on my website, and I talked about how I had really wanted to paint a mural because I think it's just so fascinating the way you can put something out into the world. And you don't have to walk into an art museum. You don't have to have a paintbrush. You can just put something out into the world, and someone can all of a sudden interact with art in a way that they might not have before. So I started seeing all these like Instagram walls and thought, that is so cool. I would love to do something like that. What an amazing thing to do with art. So I just wrote a blog post with some ideas, and I think someone that followed me on Instagram worked for a real estate company here in Charlotte. So she emailed me, and they hired me to paint a wall outside, which was crazy because I had never painted outside before. So I
remember watching like the progression because you were posting about how big is it?
I was really nervous. Yeah, it's a 40 by 10 foot wall, I want to say, or maybe 11. Yeah, because I had to get on a ladder, so it would have been a little bit taller than that. So it was 40 by 11 concrete wall. Had to figure out how to get someone in to like pressure wash and prime it for me, and then I had to figure out how to paint on that large of a scale in an outside area. And it was you're used to the cold because you live in New Jersey, but I grew up in Georgia, and it was freezing. I had on like 2 pairs of pants and like multiple jackets. So if you look at it, it's a bunch of colorful different hearts, and they say, be kind, do good, love others. And Yeah, and a lot of people in Charlotte have enjoyed it, and I didn't really know what to expect when I first painted it, because I think one thing that you get used to, at least I got used to with art, is that you just never really know how something's going to be received, whether I'm posting something on Instagram or creating a new product. Like, sometimes things don't have the effect that you want them to. So I was really excited to see how many kids especially seemed to like the mural.
Right.
And I had a lot of teachers reach out and ask me to come to their classrooms and talk to the kids about art, which was really sweet and touching. And a lot of them would create their own version of the confetti hearts wall. So the teachers would have them write small acts of kindness on the heart, and then they would put them on the wall and make their own version of the mural. So as I went, I came up with this simplified version of what the hearts wall meant to explain it to them, which is that every act of kindness is like a heart on the wall, like a piece of confetti. Like, alone, it looks insignificant and unimportant and small, but when you add them up together, it becomes something really big, bright, and beautiful. And that's the meaning of the mural. So then I think at some point in quarantine, because I've been doing a lot of walking by myself this year, had a lot of time with my thoughts. And I think, this is what happened. I had just done an ABC book with animals.
Yeah.
So I had painted like an animal for each letter, and I had turned it into a book that matches an art print. And at first I thought, okay, I'm going to do a 1, 2, 3 book to also match this. Mm-hmm. And as I was thinking about that while I was walking, I started thinking about how the hearts counted. And like, it led me into thinking, I should illustrate the hearts in the story of that for kids, so that they can take the story and then have this cool connection between reading and art, where they can read something and then go see it in real life, and sort of bring those subjects together.
I'm embarrassed I don't have this book, and I'm a media specialist, so I will be ordering it. And I'm feeling like I'm coming up with ideas for my school, like as you're talking. Get you for a Skype or something.
I would be happy to do that.
It sounds amazing. And can you get the book just on your site, or is it in other places?
It's just on my website right now.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I feel like it'd be such a great gift for kids.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
That was
I'll talk it up. I will link it. I will talk it up. I will share it. Don't worry. I love to connect. So like people and stuff. And we have like a whole bunch of people watching, like Stacy, I think it's Dot, Danica. They're all like saying hi. I don't know if you can see the comments.
Hi.
Shout out to them. And I think I'm going to guess it was Dot, I think, that said, that's awesome. And because she just commented. I can see that she's commenting. And
cool.
And my friend just texted and she said, I love her artwork. Very pretty and cheery.
Oh, so, thank you.
So yeah, I was going to ask about the wall and your book. And I love that you say in your bio, you say like painting is a celebration of life. Mm-hmm. I love it.
Yeah, I think everyone can be an artist, and I think everybody has like an emotion or a message to share with the world. And I think I always hope, especially with any public art piece that I do, I hope that the sense of joy that I can put into the art encourages someone to like bring more art into their life.
Oh,
that feeling.
I believe it. And I feel like people are going and taking pictures in front of your art wall now, right?
Mm-hmm. Like,
is there a hashtag for that they're using?
A confetti. It's hashtag confetti hearts wall, confetti stripes wall, and confetti sunshine wall.
So now you have 3 walls that are separate?
I had 3. So I also did confetti. I did confetti stripes, which is also in Charlotte. I did that about 6 months after the hearts. And then in this, it was either April or May, I painted one. So when things started shutting down in March, I went and stayed with my parents in Georgia. And my dad helped me figure out he found a wall for me to, and got someone to pay me to paint it. So I painted the confetti sunshine wall in May, which was actually a really interesting experience because things were still like entirely shut down, even in Georgia. So I was having to call Sherwin-Williams to get the paints. And then it took me like 3 yellows to get the right one because I wasn't able to get the samples like I normally could. So
I thought about that print, by the way, because she has it as a print too, right?
Yeah.
They're behind me.
Yeah.
You're going to have to let me pick one out. You're going to have to send me pictures and be like, this is what you should have behind you. Because this is why I was going to pick one like a week and a half ago and have it hung up. And then I like could not decide. But I'll get one eventually. I mean, I have like 4 upstairs that aren't hanging yet. Because when I moved, I fully hang everything up, which is so funny because it's been a year, over a year. And I was home from March until September. But stuff just doesn't get done, you know. But so do you have anything new coming up? I mean, I know you're always coming out with new stuff, but is there anything like you can tell us or anything on?
What am I working on that's new? I have like a huge list on my computer. Yeah. I'm always trying to work on, it keeps me creatively inspired to always have multiple projects that I'm working on at once. So I'm usually working on different new map series behind the scenes. So I started Toronto today, and I'm hoping to do maybe one other before the holidays start. I definitely want to do a children's book for the Confetti Stripes wall and the Confetti Sunshine wall. So I have, every now and then I've been like typing out ideas for those. I know exactly what I want them to look like visually in my head. It's just coming up with the story and to go along with it. So keeping those in my brain, I usually will write things down as ideas come to me. Because I think it helps me creatively to have as many things that I'm thinking about. Like if I have more things that I'm thinking about, the more inspired I am to add to them. If I give myself the time and space to think about it. What else? I think those are the biggest projects. I'm starting the calendars for 2022.
What themes do you have them?
Well, I'm definitely going to do dogs again because that one's been a bestseller. I'm definitely going to do EH Happiness because that's been a big seller. And I might do adventure again, might do verse again. I'm not sure. I'm going to
adventure prints upstairs.
Yeah.
I love them. Oh my gosh. Let's see what else. So I'm trying to think if did I not ask something that you would like to address or that you want to share?
Not that I can think of. I'm so happy that people are interested in my work and hop on things like this and want to listen to it. That's what inspires me more than anything is just getting to interact with people and hear what they want to gift their friends and what makes their home brighter and things like that.
Yeah, I've given a few of your items as gifts myself over the years. You know, I listened to this pod. Do you know who Gretchen? I don't know if you know who Gretchen Rubin is. She does like Happier.
What's her book called? I read it.
Oh gosh.
Is it just Happier?
She has the 4 tendencies about the personalities, and then she has a podcast with her sister. So they did an episode. Sometimes I listen when I'm walking. She did an episode, and I can't remember what she called. I don't know if she just said it was whimsy. I can't remember what she called, but they were talking about things in your life that, like, maybe they're in your kitchen drawer. You have like a little picture, so every time you open it up. Do you ever listen to her podcast?
I think I've maybe listened to one episode, but I want to listen to this episode for sure.
So she and her sister, who is also like in LA and writes. I don't know. She writes for like TV shows, like get picked up. Anyway, they have this podcast together. And there was an episode I was like, I half listened to because then I switch over to others where she was talking about like things that make you happy that like you have. So she was saying like, oh, like when I open up my kitchen drawer, I have a picture of whatever it is. And like every time I see it, like it makes my heart happy. And the minute they were talking about it, I was like, that's Evelyn for me, like her artwork, the mug, the calendar. When I see that around my house or what I have at school hanging up, because I do have the throw kindness around like confetti one from a while ago. It's not framed. It's just like on my bulletin board behind my desk in the library. Because I think that's for kids, you know, like I think it's a nice little message. So like, I don't know. I think she might have just called it like whimsy, but like as she was doing the podcast and I was listening to that part of it, I thought that's like what your artwork is for me. It like makes me happy when I walk in and see your artwork. So know that is.
That's such a sweet sentiment. I'm going to have to listen to that.
Yeah, and you know it's funny because when we were getting on, I was trying to Google it so I could tell you the episode. It was just
I'll find it. I'll listen to the whole show. I love podcasts.
Yeah, and she has they do like the transcripts and stuff as well, and like whatever book club they're reading, like I always read the book that they do.
Oh, great! I'm always about a new book club too.
I love how smart she is. Like this Gretchen Rubin is so smart. She like reads books and talks about things. I'm like, but like I love talking about people. And I just think they're positive. She calls herself like a happiness bully. So it's just like how positive she is. And I like listening to her and her sister and their close relationship. But anyway, she does a whole episode. And I was like, that's what Evelyns Artwork is for me. It's like that little thing you see that brings happiness. So you can do that. So thank you.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate that so much.
So where do we find you on social media?
You can find me at Evelyn_Henson on Instagram. And then my website is just EvelynHenson.com.
And I've linked, I think I even put it in the notes for this, but I'm going to be like talking you up for like weeks and weeks, and I'm going to keep putting it and linking it for you. So I know you're going to have a bunch of new fans, and even though not everybody comes on at 7, because like here they're feeding their family, you know, all my friends have kids and it's like sports, even though it's COVID, but I know a lot of them will say, a lot of my friends watch in bed at night when I do my interviews, they can't jump on, or a lot of my, I should say the members in this group. So I always get a lot of positive feedback. And if you're watching after, please comment that you were here and check out her site. And this has been like, this has been such a big thrill, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it, and actually like getting to see you in person.
Oh my gosh, so much fun. Anytime.
And I know all my friends and my group members are going to love your artwork as much as me. So I really appreciate the time you took, and I look forward to seeing everything else you come out with. And I'm going to be broke because I just keep buying it. But thank you, Evelyn. Seriously, this has been like such a pleasure.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I appreciate you having me.
And it's just so nice. And I could talk all night, but I know we all have things. Probably have things you want to go to done. So, all right, everyone. Thank you for joining. And I'll see you for my next interview, and have a good night.